Now, I don't care what your sun sign is. Every sun sign has positive and negative traits. Some people have had bad dealings with a sign, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for them to see their positive traits, but every sign has positive and negative traits. Now, often here at Asking Aquarius, we talk about both. I always talk about the positive and the not so positive, the light, the dark, high vibration, low vibration, somewhere in the middle. We talk about that kind of thing all the time because basically that's just humanity. But today, somebody sent me a list from the internet. This is a list of negative keywords for Aquarius. They want me to read the list and talk about if I think these negative traits apply to Aquarius. Okay? Some of them probably will. From looking at it, I think quite a few actually. But we're going to take a look at these and we're going to talk about them. And I'm going to give you my 4 cents. And then underneath this video, you can give me your 4 cents, and then we can have some change together. All right, guys, let's do our introduction. I am Queen Aset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Asking Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to anybody else who might like it too, and drop us a positive comment in the comment section. If you have time, please stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to read and respond to 2 of my favorite positive comments from 2 previous videos. And one of them might be yours. If you would like to get a reading done, please email me and I'll give you an appointment. If you would like to talk to me on social media, my information, including my email, is underneath this video. If you would like to become one of my patrons on Patreon, that link is underneath this video. And if you want to give a love donation to our channel, my PayPal is underneath this video. Let me see what else underneath the video. Oh, Asking Aquarius merchandise. If you want some of that, the links are underneath this video. So let's talk about the Aquarius and these negative traits. Let's see if these are true, y'all. Number 1, the first negative trait is detached. Now, I'm going to say the Aquarius can be very detached. I often say detaching is our default setting. When we're overloaded, when we're overwhelmed, we will very quickly retreat. That fight or flight that I was talking about, well, flight is often detaching. So, is that true? Yes. Do I think it's negative? No. I think that detaching is actually a superpower. I think it's a good thing. So I can't put this on the negative list. And the reason why I said this is because I have seen so many people attached that cannot detach. So now I'm thinking to myself, this is actually a pretty good thing to be able to do. The problem is that because it's a default setting, we probably detach sometimes when we shouldn't. Now that can be negative. For example, if our husband or our wife really needs to be supported and we detach, that is a problem. But if I'm seeing somebody and they're bad for me and I'm able to shut the door on that bad energy, that detachment is a good thing. So I think it really depends on the situation. But it can be negative, but it doesn't always have to be. Aquarius are stubborn. Hell yeah. Aquarius are about as stubborn, if not more stubborn, than Taurus. The only difference between the 2 of us is that Tauruses will be stubborn for no reason. They'll just do it, Aquarius usually have a reason to be stubborn. So that's the only big difference. But we are still very stubborn. And stubborn energy can be good at times, but it can be bad too. Because if you're trying to, for instance, go to school, get a degree, having a stubborn, persistent energy is a good thing. But if you're so stubborn that you can't hear the requests from your friends and family, then it does fall into negative. So far, this list is going in the right direction. The Aquarius is distant. The Aquarius is only distant when we're detached. So that does happen, but it's not all the time. Some people were very much around. The Aquarius is rebellious. Again, I'm not finding that to be negative. I think that when you're a rebel without a cause, or when you rebel just for the sake of rebelling, then it's negative. But when you're rebellious and you're starting a revolution, the Boston Tea Party, the 60s, that kind of rebellious nature, the French Revolution, that kind of rebellious nature is what makes kingdoms. Okay? So then it's a good thing. So far, all of these can be considered negative traits, but depends on the situation. These can be strengths. The next one is difficult. The Aquarius is difficult. Yeah. Sometimes Aquarius can definitely be difficult. I get complaints about Aquarius every single day. So I can't say that we're not difficult because I get so many complaints. But I think it's because the other person, in most cases, is just not understanding. So that is difficult. If a person is difficult to understand, then that person is indeed difficult. And many Aquarius do get called that. Aquarius are cranky. Aquarius are cranky if we're tired, like anybody else. Aquarius can be cranky if we're detached. If you keep on coming at us and we don't bother with you, that will make us very angry and very cranky. So that can be really true. Aquarius are tactless. I have said this 1,000 times. If I had $1 for every time I said the Aquarius is tactless, I'd have all the dollars. Because many of us have a hard time saying what it is that we want to say without hurting other people's feelings. It's hard for us. And it's not because we don't care or we don't try. It's just hard for us to be honest and have tact at the same time. It's not an easy balancing act for us, but it is a necessary one. Aquarius can be aloof. Yeah, a lot of people will tell me that. They'll say I'm aloof or mysterious. I think it's because, and everybody doesn't say that, but I think the people that do say it, it's because they're trying to get a hold of me and they can't. And when somebody's trying to grip you and they can't, suddenly you're mysterious and aloof. If you're Aquarius or not, suddenly that's what happens. But I do think with Aquarius, it is more common. Aquarius are eccentric. I don't think eccentric is a negative trait. I think that Aquarius are eccentric. I think we're extremely eccentric. But to me, when I hear eccentric, I hear creative. I hear different. I hear unusual. Eccentric doesn't say to me, bad. It just says different. So differences are definitely not bad. So out of all of these, that's the only one I can say a definite no to that being negative. Yes to us being it, but no, it's not negative. Any of the other ones, I think you could put a negative spin on it. But somebody who's just creative and being themselves, I don't think that's really a negative thing. Aquarius are obstinate. Yeah. Aquarius, this goes with that stubborn energy. When an Aquarius is certain about something, nothing is going to deter us. Only thing that will turn us around is us. If I'm stubborn about something and I'm focused on something, once I see the error of my own ways, then I'm like, okay, then I'll turn around. But somebody could have told me 15 minutes ago the same thing, and I didn't want to listen to them because I wanted to figure it out for myself. So this is true. We do have that stubborn, obstinate energy. Aquarius are dogmatic. Some of us. Depends. That one really depends. We can be. It depends on the situation. But that is a common negative trait that I've heard before. So that's another yes. Aquarius are insensitive. Oh my God, Becky. If I had $1 for every water sign that has told me this, I would have all the dollars once again. Because we are often accused of being insensitive. And I think that sometimes we are. I know especially me. Because some of the things that people care about, we don't care about. So when they're being sensitive about it, we're looking at them like, why are you being sensitive about that? Now, as I've gotten older, I've learned that consideration says that when somebody's feeling sensitive about something, if you think it's important or not, is not is not the important part. The important part is that they're hurting and they're having an experience, and how do you want to show up or not in their experience. So I've learned that, yeah, we can be very insensitive, and it is often said about us. Aquarius are unyielding. Again, this goes with that stubborn, obstinate energy, that unyielding energy. This can be really bad. This can be really negative in certain situations, like when we refuse to give up on something that we need to give up on. How many Aquarius do you know are still in love with their ex, still want to be with their ex, still want to go back to their ex? I know a lot of them. And the thing about it is that they might not do it because they've detached from them for a number of different reasons, but that unyielding energy, they could be feeling it for years and years and years. So that unyieldingness, again, can be good in certain situations, but in the case where you're being abused, not so much. Aquarius are unemotional, negative. Aquarius are extremely emotional, but I understand why that's on this list. People think Aquarius are unemotional, but it's not their fault. People think that Aquarius are unemotional because Aquarius in general do not like showing our emotion. A lot of times we repress it, we suppress it. Like I've told you many times before, it's not common for us to show our emotions. I'm just now, in the past 5 years, become comfortable to show and feel and experience the full range of my emotions without being afraid of them. I just deal with them now. But this is not what I would have done 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. So people think that we're unemotional because they don't see it. If you have an Aquarius around you and you think they're unemotional, they're just not showing it to you because they don't trust you, or they don't like how it makes them feel. They don't like being seen in that light. A lot of us have a lot of pride, so all of those things come into play. Aquarius are unreasonable. I say this all the time. I can't even give any kind of explanation for this one because we do some unreasonable shit. We do. Somebody was saying to me the other day, she was like, she told me this in the comment section. She said to me that I said not to tell an Aquarius what to do. Let the Aquarius figure it out, or have a conversation with them, but don't try to force them to do what you want them to do. And she said, but Aquarius tell everybody what to do. And I was like, that's more that unreasonable behavior. We do tell everybody what to do, but we don't want nobody telling us what to do. So that's some of that unreasonable behavior. I have several videos that in the title it says more unreasonable Aquarius behavior, or unreasonable Aquarius behavior. I use that term because some of the times it's just unreasonable. You can't expect somebody to do this while you do that, but an Aquarius will, and it's like, what's wrong? You know? So unreasonable behavior, I agree. And the last one says unpredictable. Now, unpredictable is something that could be negative. Like if you are expecting someone to do something, or if you're depending on someone to do something, them being unpredictable is not a good thing. If you need them to pick you up at 3 p.m. every Friday and they unpredictable, that's not a good thing. They might show up, they might not. But at the same time, some of the times unpredictability is just spontaneity. It doesn't have to correlate with being unreliable. You see? So those two things they're two totally different things. Being unpredictable and unreliable are not the same. Now, some people who are unpredictable are extremely unreliable. But then there's people who are unpredictable who will stick to their word. And that's how I am. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. The problem is I'm not going to tell people I'm going to do too many things because I already know I'm going to feel obligated in myself to do it. So if I don't know what's going to happen, I just say, well, tentatively, let's see what happens. I leave a lot of things open because of that reason. All right, guys. Now let's take a look at two of my favorite positive comments. Kenneth Lane. Hey, Kenneth. Kenneth said, while most women just look for sugar daddies, only an Aquarius woman would be genius enough to have Santa as one. Hashtag next level shit. On Christmas Day, for any of you who weren't around, I posted a picture of me kissing Santa Claus. It was from a photo shoot that we did a couple years ago. And I use this picture every Christmas. So go to the community tab and you can see what he's talking about. I think that is hysterical. I would love it if Santa Claus was my boo. I would love that. Getting presents all the time? Who wouldn't love that? Galactic Gains. Galactic Gains said the unbalanced Libras are self-absorbed. Hoo-wah. For example, how did me saying I like something turn into them talking about themselves and what they like for 10 minutes after? First of all, Libras love to talk. A lot of them are good at communication. They have one of their characteristics is diplomacy. So a lot of them are really good at conversation. Some of them are good at talking and listening, and some of them are just good at talking. You know, the sneaky ones are the ones that are a little bit more quiet, I've come to find. But this is very normal. It's very normal for a Libra to take over the whole conversation. That's why I like Libras, because when we vibe well, we talk all the time. And I love that. I love kicking around ideas and talking about things. I just love that. So yeah, that's that's pretty common. You talk about what you like and a Libra takes over the conversation. Aquarius probably do that too, now that I think about it. All right, guys, it's time for us to get going. So please come back soon because I have a lot more to say. See you later.